cold draft swept through the empty aisle. My eyes snapped open. The stale scent of popcorn filled my nose. I stood upright, my body stiff. My usher uniform felt scratchy. A laminated card hung from my neck. It read, Tvero, usher, screen 3 monitor. My job was clear. I had one instruction. A chill ran down my arm. If the film on screen 3 plays backward, leave immediately. The words felt heavy in my mind. A low hum vibrated through the floor. I gripped my flashlight. Its beam cut a weak path. I walked towards screen 3. The screen glowed faintly. Figures moved on the screen. They moved forward, then stopped. A subtle wrongness hung in the air. The film flickered. It seemed to stutter. My heart beat a slow rhythm. I watched the images closely. A woman on screen walked into a room. Then she took a step back. Not quite a full reverse, but the motion was unnatural. My breath hitched. The air grew colder. I felt a growing dread. The film continued its strange dance. My shift demanded constant vigilance. I had to check every empty seat. No one was ever allowed in the last row. I turned from screen 3's faint glow. The main corridor stretched ahead. My flashlight beam cut a weak path. Dust motes danced in the air. I walked towards screen 4. Its heavy door stood slightly ajar. A faint, tinny sound leaked out. I pushed the door open slowly. The screen inside was dark. Rows of empty seats waited. I stepped into the aisle. My shoes made soft scuffs. I began my routine patrol. My hand brushed each armrest. I checked for forgotten items. A sticky spot clung to my finger. I wiped it on my scratchy uniform. The air grew colder here. The silence felt heavy, pressing. I moved towards the very back. The last row of seats remained. They looked untouched, pristine. A deep chill emanated from them. I felt a prickle on my neck. This rule was not just policy. It felt like a warning. I gripped my flashlight tighter. I moved on, leaving the dark screen. The quiet hum of the building followed. I stepped back into the main corridor. The air here felt less cold. My flashlight beam swept the empty walls. A low hum vibrated through the floor. I walked towards the concession stand. It was always dark at night. No one worked this late. My eyes scanned the counter. Popcorn machines stood silent. Then I saw it. A single red balloon. It floated near the ceiling. It bobbed gently. No child was here. No party had been held. Its string hung loose. It swayed with no breeze. I stopped walking. My breath held tight. The balloon was too bright. It was too out of place. It seemed to watch me. I felt a strange pull. My hand tightened on the flashlight. I took a slow step forward. The balloon drifted slightly away. It moved towards the dark hallway. That hallway led to the staff rooms. I knew it was empty. I knew it should be. The red dot vanished into the black. I stood alone in the quiet. The hum of the building felt louder now. My skin prickled with cold. The red dot vanished. My mind searched for answers. A stray draft could explain it. Perhaps an open vent. I swept my flashlight beam up. The ceiling was solid. No vents were open here. The air felt completely still. No breeze stirred my uniform. I walked slowly into the dark hallway. My light cut through the blackness. I checked the floor for strings. No dropped balloon strings lay there. I looked for any sign of a party. No confetti, no forgotten cake. The hallway was just empty. It was too quiet. My rational thoughts began to fray. The hum of the building grew louder. It felt like a pulse. The cold prickled my skin deeper. This was not a simple draft. My usher training offered no solutions. The world felt suddenly wrong. My certainty dissolved into dread. I stood in the silent dark. My logical mind offered no comfort. The silence pressed in. I felt a growing unease. The known world felt less certain. My flashlight beam found only dust. No explanation presented itself. The silence broke suddenly. A distant, muffled scream echoed. I stumbled forward. My flashlight beam swung wildly. It caught a door, a janitor's closet. I pushed it open. The small room was blindingly bright. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead. The air was thick with bleach. A bucket of murky water sat on the floor. Mops leaned against the wall. This was not the dark hallway. This was not screen 3. My mind struggled to connect. How did I get here? I remembered walking. But not this door. Not this light. My hand trembled slightly. I felt a sudden urge to run. But where? The scream faded. Or was it just my mind? The closet felt too big. The walls seemed to stretch. The floor tilted slightly. My balance wavered. I gripped the doorframe. The cold from the hallway was gone. A strange heat radiated. The cleaning supplies looked normal, but nothing else did. I was lost. My job was to monitor screen 3. This was not screen 3. The closet felt too big. The walls seemed to stretch. The floor tilted slightly. My balance wavered. I gripped the doorframe. The cold from the hallway was gone. A strange heat radiated from the air. The cleaning supplies looked normal, but nothing else did. I was lost. My job was to monitor screen 3. This was not screen 3. The heat grew stronger now. It pulsed from the far wall. I stepped away from the door. My hand reached out slowly. I touched the bright white paint. It felt rough and gritty beneath my fingers. Not smooth drywall at all. I scraped my nail against it. The paint flaked away easily. Beneath was dark, ancient stone. A deep carved symbol appeared. It was a spiral, impossibly old. The symbol glowed faintly with its own light. A low thrum vibrated through the stone wall. The closet was a false skin. It hid something vast and sleeping. My dread turned to a cold awe. This was not just a wrong room. This was a wrong time, a wrong place. I felt a deep chill despite the radiating heat. The spiral seemed to pull my gaze inward. I had found a deeper, systemic truth, and it was utterly terrifying. The spiral pulsed brighter now. It hummed deep in the ancient stone. My hand moved without my will. It reached for the glowing symbol. My fingers brushed the rough, carved lines. The stone felt impossibly hot to the touch. A sharp jolt ran up my entire arm. The thrumming grew suddenly louder. It vibrated through my very bones. The closet walls seemed to press inward. The air grew thick and heavy around me. A deep, guttural sound echoed from within the stone. The spiral flared with a blinding white light. I pulled my hand back sharply, my breath catching. My skin tingled with a strange, raw energy. The intense light pulsed once, then dimmed. The thrumming softened, but did not stop. The air still felt charged with power. The symbol glowed with a steady, eerie light. It was awake now, fully aware. I had touched something ancient and vast, something that should have stayed hidden forever. My heart hammered a frantic rhythm in my chest. The closet was no longer just a room. It was a doorway to something else, and I had just opened it wide. A cold dread settled deep inside me. The silence that followed felt like a heavy weight. It felt like waiting for a response. My hand throbbed with a dull ache. The blinding light had faded. My vision swam for a moment. I stumbled back against the wall. My legs felt like water. A cold sweat broke on my skin. My entire body trembled uncontrollably. The closet air felt thin now. My breath came in ragged gasps. The spiral still pulsed with a soft, eerie glow. It watched me from the stone. My arm felt heavy and strange. A deep exhaustion settled over me. It was more than just tiredness. It felt like something had been taken, or something had been added. My heart beat a frantic, uneven rhythm. The thrumming in the stone continued. It echoed inside my own chest. I slid down to the floor. my back pressed against the cold wall. The silence felt like a judgment. I was no longer just Tvero. Something had changed inside me. The world felt sharper, colder, and I was utterly alone. The stale popcorn smell returned. My body still ached. My usher uniform felt scratchy. I stood in the aisle of screen 3. The screen was dark now. No film played backward. No images flickered at all. A deep silence pressed down. My hands still throbbed faintly. The exhaustion clung to me. I looked at the floor. Near the projector booth door, a faint shimmer caught my eye. It was not dust. Tiny motes of light swirled. They formed a miniature vortex. It spun slowly on the carpet. The air felt colder around it. A whisper of the spiral remained. The theater felt vast and hollow. The familiar space felt alien. I was still Tvero, the usher, but my perception had changed. The world held new secrets now, and I was part of them. The quiet was a heavy burden. It hummed with unseen truths. I was utterly alone with them. The tiny vortex still spun. Its cold breath touched my skin. This was not a normal theater. The motes of light slowly faded. They dissolved into the dark carpet. A lingering chill remained. It settled deep in my bones. The silence felt heavier now. It pressed against my ears. I gripped my flashlight tighter. Its weight felt familiar, but my hand still trembled. The projector booth door stood closed. No sound came from inside. The screen remained a blank wall. It offered no escape. My usher uniform felt like a costume. My role felt like a lie. I had seen impossible things. The world had shifted around me. This theater held hidden truths. I was the only one who knew. My job was no longer simple. It was a silent vigil. I would watch for the next anomaly. I would carry this secret. The darkness was not empty. It was waiting for me. I was still Tvero, the usher, but the theater was different. My eyes saw beyond the seats. I saw the cracks in reality. No one else would ever see them. My quiet life was over. The silence now hummed with secrets. I was forever bound to them. The film had stopped, but the show had just begun.